guys on the injured thing, and you can't get rid of but so many of them. So I gotta just hold them. They only got two IL slots, so I got like four guys that's IL that's on the bench, and I can't move no other. Got nobody else the way it's set up. Both leagues. Anyway, all right, man. It is Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. ish. That means once again it is time for another edition live in the ManCave. This is we got the All-State coach. What's going on with you, sir?
Happy Sunday, Coach.
Happy Sunday, sir. I am Coach Barnes, and we are two of the three members of Polk Hoops, your number one source for high school basketball in the state of Florida. Appreciate you all tuning in and rocking with us tonight. We do not take it for granted. We appreciate all the love and support that you all have been providing us through the time. All-State PG has other engagements, so he probably will not be in tonight, but the show must go on. We will hold it in the road, as the old folks say, for him in spite of it. So, Coach, we had a very eventful week on the hardwood. And so I don't know. I know you're fresh off the plane, fresh off the road. So I don't know if you got anything in your corner, but I always want to give you the opportunity to express so if you do.
Coach, when I say I just walked in the house,
Yes,
we fresh off the plane.
maybe that could be your coach corner. Talk about the California experience with the young ladies. I know this is
and that's what the corner is going to be about. For one, it has shown me again on how far behind Florida is compared to everyone else. The whole school was an older school, Coach, but facility-wise, Coach, it doesn't even compare. Coach, the people had 2 gyms. They had tennis courts. They had pickleball courts. They had multiple fields that they can do soccer, lacrosse, and football on. They had multiple baseball fields, had multiple softball fields. Coach, they had an Olympic swimming pool where not only do you have the pool itself, they had an Olympic diving what's the name also. You know what I'm saying? I seen some people out there, even though it was 40 something degrees, they're out there playing water polo. You know, it's just it was eye opening, Coach, that we are so far behind when it comes to resources and facilities. And I don't know why can't we inquiry what these other states are doing to figure out how can we close this gap.
Coach, you just said double everything.
Coach, it was amazing, Coach. And like I said, it was one of the older schools from what they was telling us. It's one of the older schools.
So it's even more so other places.
Mm-hmm. Even more so other places. So that was one of the. Go ahead.
And that's like you say, that's and it's probably out there. It's probably that's just how it is.
That's just what it sounded like.
That's how it is. It's just that's the expectation. This is we've always been like this. We've always had two of everything. We've always had this, that, and the third.
Public school, not private. Public school.
Is Fresno like affluent? I mean, I don't know. Like,
I thought Fresno was bigger than what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's a college town. It's like Tallahassee.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's basically like Tallahassee. Have multiple high schools. But it's a college town. It's not like a big downtown or nothing like that. It's really a college town. Cause it's like Tallahassee for sure.
So we're never going to be. We're never going to catch up, right?
No. Coach, at no point do they got to fight for gym time or field time or none of that. At no point do they have to fight for that. They had an event this week and they had games in both gyms. Even though we played in the main gym the whole time, they had they had games in both gyms. So
And
you
even
they
like,
maximize, you know, the profit and fundraising. They put on a really good event.
yeah, Chase, it was a good game. We're gonna talk about it in a few minutes. But it was a good game. Happy Sunday, all Saints. I don't know if that's Coach Chad or not, but I
Yeah,
just say
Coach
all
Jones.
Saints.
Definitely, Coach.
Um, we kind of wish we should. We're making a big deal about the scoreboard that Bartow got.
Coach,
Then
the
you look at this
scoreboard
scoreboard.
they had.
That's what I'm saying. Look at the scoreboard they got, and we about to lose our mind what Bartow got. And then look at what these people got, man.
Coach.
Um,
And from my understanding, they say all of them have it now. All of them, you know.
that's just the expectation, man. That's so crazy, man. Like, I, so Kevin, you it, I don't know because then you say we're a football state, right? Primarily, but do our football facilities, besides Bryant Stadium, maybe Lakeland Christian to a certain extent, maybe All Saints on a smaller level, but do our football facility? And I guess if you're gonna say Victory, I mean they use Southeastern Field, but field wise, but facilities wise, we're not even um on that level with what we are supposed to be kind of known for, right?
Coach, the product that we are producing year in and year out consistently, Coach. And I'm talking about football, basketball, and baseball, Coach. Florida is a hotbed for talent, but we don't show the appreciation that it needs with these particular resources, with facilities, with like even training staff, Coach. We in Polk County, we still don't even have trainers, Coach. Like what we talking about? We talking about preventing young athletes from injury by providing them a trainer. We don't even have that in Polk.
Is the team like the host team? I guess they was good, right?
Yeah, they were really good. They was
So
30 33-1 last year.
so how was like the other teams, like basketball, like softball, like other sports at the school? Were
So
they good too, or just the girls basketball team?
no, the other sports are particularly good. Like football is big out there also, and some of the other sports like softball, baseball.
This is why I'm asking the question. So I got a question or a conversation in the inbox, and I say I got to make sure I ask it where I'm not really stepping on no toes. But what was said was there was somebody who went to the Victory Villages game on Tuesday, and they was impressed with the level of basketball from both teams. You know, it's high level, which we're gonna talk about that in a couple minutes too. But then the same person was asking the question. Essentially, they went to another game, or they saw another game. They went, or they saw another game in the county later on that week, and they were just like, it was such a night and day with the level. And I'll just kind of read it without saying. I'm not gonna say the game they went to because we obviously I'll say it off the air, but I'm not gonna say it on the air. So let me go, and then so just to kind of give you a little bit on the conversation to go in line with what you're saying about how sports are like I guess across the board. So what he essentially said was, he said he had a friend that went to another game after watching Victory and said that the other game looked like YMCA basketball. And he asked this guy, why is there such a huge gap in talent in coaching? And the guy said I really couldn't answer it, but thought it might be a good show question. So I
Yeah.
said, well, that is a good question. I said I got to figure out how to dress it up so I don't offend nobody, right? So because we try to stay in the middle. So then his response was he understand, but he just think it's a link to expectations from the community culture in basketball, soccer, baseball, etc. So his thing was example, Lakeland Christian is good in football, baseball, women's soccer. So the expectations are there, which helps the kids in those sports excel. Once teams start to lose, expectations start to become less important to, you just want to jumpstart the program. And like and then he gave another example. Lakeland has not taken a dive in football despite new leadership. Expectations never change from day one. So I guess, are we saying if you have the expectation, is it a culture across? Because, we always focus on basketball, but is it like if you got other sports that are in that same lane, like you said, where y'all was at, is that the gap in Polk County that we like? There's not a cross the board kind of expectation from a sport perspective.
Coach, I think so. For example, Haines City, Bartow, Lake Wells, Kathleen, traditional multi-sport programs, right?
Right.
It all starts with football season. Football season sets the tone for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? In the 90s when Lake Wells was good, football season set the tone. And then you talking about those same players playing basketball, same expectation. You know what I'm saying? In '93 for Lake Wells, so we go have our first undefeated season, lose in the playoffs. Go to basketball, we lose in the state championship game to Ely, right? Baseball wins the state championship. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, football set the tone for having the best season. You know what I'm saying? And some of those same players are going from season to season, and those expectations are set. From the beginning. I think it starts with the administration, and it filters down to the coach and the culture of the city. You know what I'm saying? I think we're getting distracted, coach. We're getting distracted by social media, getting caught up in like mixtapes, offers, all this flashy stuff that's on the internet instead of focusing on the team stuff, building programs, doing what's best for these particular students in order to build a culture that's gonna sustain itself. Right now, it's not sustaining, only in a few places. But
So, okay, go ahead.
yeah, but I think it starts with the expectations of the administration. You know what I'm saying? And what we said a couple of weeks ago, most of the administrators, they don't really care. But if you really know Polk County, if you really know your the people that you are serving, we all come together over sports. You know what I'm saying? And to have a successful sports program, it will grow the expectation and the culture of other sports programs, not only in athletics, but in academics also.
And so then that goes in line with what we kind of saying, because I don't know if first of all, I'll say what's up, Coach Brooks, people in the chat, Coach Ampbo, and Pastor Piggott. I always appreciate you stopping through, sir. Always a pleasure. And Jay Twice Mello, yes, sir. We see that Darius Livingston, Discovery alum, is
He killing it.
killing it. Shout out to Darius, man. I'm so proud of multiple guys, man. While we on it, Ro Hardy last night, man, on the big stage, played his tail off, man, and
Coach
just
got a sticker.
Coach, just smiling. Coach, just smiling because these kids, Coach. Like these, we actually know these kids, and like they done came through the Polk Hoops thing, and just I know me, and I know you smiling more than me, but I'm just like out there, like, and they deserve to be out there, Coach. They ain't just like falling around. They supposed to be out there. That stuff. Yeah. So
I was with his parents this weekend. His dad left California to fly to the championship game. Me and his mom glued to the iPad trying to keep up with what's going on in the game.
Man, that's so amazing. Them kids, it's all them kids that's left here, man. The last couple of years, I think most of the kids that's leaving, man, they like making an impact, be it football or basketball, man. So yeah, shout out Darius, man. Shout out to Roe and all the guys that are putting the work in the next level, man. And it can't do nothing but be a positive impact on the young men that we got now because
Mm-hmm.
you see what happened. These guys came from here. They didn't go to no prep school or that kind of stuff. They did it right from Polk County and going and
And that's
producing.
my whole argument, Coach. These kids, these people that are coaching this community, they deserve better, Coach. You know what I'm saying? They are doing the most with the bare minimum. With the bare minimum, Coach, we are continually producing talent at a high level with the bare minimum, but we are expected to compete at a national level with whoever we play.
Do you think, Coach, that may be hurting us? That we're doing so much with less that they like, well, I don't need to give them none. They already doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Coach, I've heard an administrator say that.
yeah, I think
I heard
we
a
heard that
principal.
stuff, which is so crazy.
I heard a principal say that. Why would we need to do that? And you just want a state championship, but don't you want us to sustain this level of play, this program? And ever since then, it's been slightly going downhill because they can't sustain it because of lack of um, connection with the administration.
Cause the admin is so they so focused on the numbers on the other side of the other. I just said I know we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I just think we're missing the whole child because we're
Oh,
so
child.
worried about test scores and numbers, but that stuff will help those test scores and numbers if you got a well-rounded kid. I think we're missing that. We're missing that one like badly.
And I know we focus on athletics, right? So I asked a HBCU alum the other day, are there music programs, for instance, like at Fam Cookman, Edward Waters, Flomo, that they give us music majors that are ready to take over band programs? Coach Band has been suffering for years now. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? But I think if we get, a band director from one of these programs, maybe it piques the interest of students in this area where your band program explodes, where you getting participation now. You know what I'm saying?
I thought that a couple years ago when Jack, R.I.P. to my guy, they brought in the band director that was graduated from Cookman. He did a great job at Kathleen. I'm not sure if he's still there, but even when he was doing such a great job, coach, he still didn't have like great numbers, but
Mhm.
the product was really good.
And the
Um,
thing is, if you continue to see that, kids see that, maybe it piques the interest. Like, hey, mom, dad, I want to get in the band in middle school. Start feeding, you know, those feeder programs where they
before
want
they
to
get
be in
to high
the band.
school, yeah, because everybody don't everybody don't have to play sports, and I think
No.
that's kind of the thing we might miss too that we put emphasis. But I just think that we're behind coach because we've been making lemonade out of lemons for so long. They just like y'all don't need no more ingredients. Y'all got it. And Coach Brooks, to your question, um, you can look at the question too, Coach. He asking how much of the culture that coaches create versus the same players having, I guess, their own expectations as members of the team individually. I think that kids, coaches have to set the culture, and the kids gotta meet that expectation. I mean, because the coaches gotta make sure it's a team, all of us type of situation. because it can get a little tricky when it starts to be, when kids are kind of doing it individually, because you can have a lot of different chiefs and no Indian, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think that for it to be a successful, and if you look at the teams that have been the most successful in Polk County, girls and boys, there is a team culture. There's a team identity, whether we're gonna play good defense, whether we're gonna be disciplined, whether we're gonna be, however we're gonna do it. You don't really look at individual players, even when they have top level talent, right? Like y'all got two top level talents with y'all two guards with Quinn and Serenity, and Bartow had a couple years ago had Walt, but it still was a team type of atmosphere. You didn't see it like it was like an individual.
That's what I was laughing at, Coach. That's exactly what I was
So
laughing at.
I mean, I just think that we like you said, Coach. I don't know if it can be fixed because of the fact that we're doing such a good job with less, because we're so good. Like we have such good coaches that they're making it work, and making it work is actually
Mm-hmm.
hurting them by making it work,
I'm
because
making it work.
there's no need for me to help you when you're not showing you need. That's just like, when you get your units at the school and you try to put a unit in and say, all right, I need a behavior coach. But your referrals are like the least in the county. No, we're not gonna give you no extra point for no behavior coach when you don't show a need for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if your test scores are down, then we're gonna give you an extra coach because your score. But if your scores are up and you ask for a coach, a literacy coach or a math coach, they're not gonna give you no math coach, and you got great math scores. What's the point? You don't need it. So I think that's kind of how we are in sports. They see that we're producing, so you don't need to produce. You don't need this, that, and the third, because you're making do with that little bit of gym time. You're making do with that little bit of weight room time. You're making do with that little bit of, time, that little bit of stipend that we giving you. You're making do with all that stuff. So why do we need to change?
But the players, the fans, the town, the city, everybody wants, once you get a taste of that, coach, they want you to stay competing at that level. You know what I'm saying? And you need those resources. You need that financial backing. You need the administration backing, and you need that. Like, that's not easy to sustain, coach. What we're doing at Winter Haven is not easy to sustain. You know what I'm saying? It's, coach. We robbing Peter to pay Paul, for one. You know what I'm saying? It's so many sacrifices, not only from the players, from the parents, from the coaches, coach. You know what I'm saying?
Because
Like, it looked good from the outside, but
but you know what they see? Oh, they just went to California. They
yeah,
about to go to Atlanta. They about to go. Where y'all going to get Oregon or something like that? Where y'all
yeah.
going? Where they going to Oregon? They don't need no money. They doing all
Coach,
that. Like
coach,
I'm
man,
just, and
we
we know. I know that I know that ain't what it is, and but
no.
that's what they see. So why I need to get you? You already got it. If you didn't got it, you
Mm-mm.
wouldn't be going. So then when you don't go, oh, that's a shame. But hell, when we needed the help to get there, we couldn't get your help because we're getting there. Like we're making do because we have no choice. We have no choice if we want to do it. If we want to get these kids this experience, we have no choice but to figure it out. But it's no help or
It,
credit to
and it's
y'all.
necessary. It's necessary for Lakeland to go across the country and play against, those teams, right? It's necessary for Victory to go to Illinois and play against those teams, right? Coach, you first of all, you get to see another brand of football or basketball, right? You get to see other, um, whatever systems and stuff that they're running. You get to compare what we're doing and see where are we excelling at, where are we right there with them, and what we need to improve on. Coach, California basketball coach is impressive from team to team. Every one of them out there, coach, they compete, but they discipline. I think they get more out of more out of their kids than what their actual talent is. Coach, they coach well. The kids play with passion. It was impressive. The stuff that they're running out there, coach, it's even more different than when I go against those Midwest teams. Because I always thought the Midwest ran some of the best, stuff. But going out to California, I've learned it's a different brand of basketball out there. But it
Yeah,
also it gave us a chance to assess our kids and where our deficiencies are. And we had some tough conversations about like, hey, you wonder why we don't allow you to take this shot in the game, right? You think you deserve to take this many shots, but let's look at the analytics. You're not shooting at the high level. You know what I'm saying? You think you should be scoring just as much as this person, but when you get the opportunity to, that's not happening. You know what I'm saying? When we play Extreme Academy, oh, you getting off. But when we get against somebody that's gonna punch back a little bit, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Your
I,
skill level is not where it's supposed to be. And we had those conversations. It starts in practice. So we gotta reprogram ourselves and we gotta get better. We're not competing against Polk County. We're not competing against our district. We're not competing against our region. What is it going to take for us to repeat as 7A state champions? You know what I'm saying? And we've had those conversations and going out and playing against somebody else help us self-analyze, help us self-reflect, and help us get these kids better. That's why I am an advocate of coaches going out and playing other places and playing against other people. Because when you familiar with your opponent, you start to get comfortable, and we really got to get out our comfort zone.
I like that. Coach Brooks, I got what you're saying about player buy-in. They gotta buy into the coach. You said the coach, and they gotta buy in. If they don't buy in, then they may
But I
have to.
think Coach Brooks, you got to set your expectations. But I also think you got to have individual conversations and individual meetings, and see what these kids' goals are, and see how it aligns with the team expectations. And I think just through communication, you can close that gap. You know what I'm saying? I think uh, there's a bit disconnect between coaches and players where they don't actually know what their role or how they fit in to certain programs and certain systems. You know what I'm saying? They only really going by they think they know. I think it's got to be clearly defined and aligned. And if it's not, then this is not the place for you, and you need to figure out where that place is.
It might not be here, and that's okay. That's okay. Um. So yeah, man. So that was great experience for y'all, man. I wish that more people had that opportunity to do it, but like you said, just the resources, um, it makes it difficult. Because, like you said, if you got the resources, I would love to see more of us be able to do it on both sides, boys, girls,
Mhm.
also, football. I mean, all sports. I like the fact that the girls got a chance to go, and some people be like, "Why they got?" You can get into the weeds with all that other stuff, but that's why I'm always a proponent of people, like especially during Christmas time. Going to these Christmas tournaments. I love to see teams going to different areas that they hadn't been to. Just for nothing else, for the team building part of it and the experiences, because some of these kids may not ever get on a plane. They may not ever leave the county lines if not for basketball and football has taken a lot of us a lot of places that we never would have went without it. So it is value in it. It's just sad that more people who can make those decisions don't see the value in it, and that limits how many of them get a chance to do it. Um, so speaking, so far, so it's early in the season, coach, and I got on here early season surprises, and I got the two teams that I guess stick out to me that's been kind of, I don't know, maybe it's not a surprise to them, but Ridge right now is sitting at 8-0. Fort Meade sitting at 4-0. I mean, that's two that jump out at me. Do you have any teams that have been surprises as far as how they have been coming out the gate?
To be honest, coach, you know what my biggest surprise is? Victory Christian Academy. Because I was not sure on how they would respond into losing Quentin Wilson. I wasn't sure that they still was going to be able to compete at a high level. I still know they was going to be good. I still knew that Tucker and MJ was still there. We knew the Tampa Prep kid. We didn't know what type of impact that he would have. Them getting healthy with the with Doc and Arik, and whatever. But it was still a question mark, coach. It was still a question mark, and the Villages game, because I was getting updates. You know, I knew who ref the game, and I know one of the parents, and we communicate all the time. I knew they was down. I knew Coach Fitzgerald made um, a great adjustment at halftime. That
Great adjustment.
a
Great
great
adjustment.
adjustment at halftime, coach, that gave them a chance to win the game. And the Villagers is really good, coach. And Victory has
Really good.
let me know that they're gonna be competing for a state title. You know what I'm saying? It is up to them. Because it was even points where the people that they depend on the most wasn't playing well, and the other kids stepped up during that time. You know what I'm saying? MJ didn't have a great game at first.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Coach,
So
I watched the game and Falk and Miles was taking shots, Coach. I reached out to his dad. I said, "I'm so happy your baby shooting the ball," and Coach, he hit them like they're going to that game is going to stick with them. As a coach
it
how
should let a fire up on them for sure.
they should let a fire, but it's going to stick with them, Coach, because they beat them people like they by all intents should have won that game, and just a couple possessions that could have went either way, and they stole it, But victory out. They outplayed them people, man. Like they should have won that game. Villagers jump that came out and kind of hit them. They hit them early, and they withstood it. They took it. And once they settled in, like midway through the second quarter, and like you could tell they really was trying not to let Christian get off, and Thought kind of came, started. He played well, and MJ struggled a little bit. I see Miss Fitzgerald say he had the flu, so that probably explained a lot. But
Explain a lot.
he was battling, coach, and then once they kind of figured out, it's kind of like that Rocky movie. Once they cut the Russian, they're like, hold on now, they bleed just like we do it. And
But I
when
said
they
last
went
week,
in zone, coach, they went in zone, and they like I said, I know that's gonna stick with them. But like you said, they gotta feel like once they get past it, I know they'll turn the page pretty quick. But man, it was a great atmosphere. I mean, it was impressive.
yeah.
They lost because Coach Fitzgerald and his people and the kids, they not gonna want to hear that because they lost the
No,
game.
for
But
sure.
man,
But,
it was
you asked me who's the most surprising is them right now,
it's them.
and also I said last week it was gonna take one of those other kids to step up in order for them to have a chance to win this game, and that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? And I think it's sustainable for them because they have so many people that has the potential to explode at any point, which makes them dangerous. So, you know, that's right now victory.
That's sure. And I when I saw Victory play at the shootout that we did with the coaches clinic
Hmm.
and saw how they play together, I'm like, they got a shot to be pretty good. But like you said, until you line up against somebody to the level of Villagers, you don't really see it. But to see how they battle, and like I say, legitimately should have they outplayed them, should have won the game. Yeah, you gotta really feel good about them. And to your point, PC Gridiron, shout out to PC Gridiron, man. And I guess we pause because you know time to say PC Gridiron, we got to make sure we got to talk football. So shout out to the Lakeland Dreadnoughts, man, on their way to the station
Coach
break.
Frazier,
Go back to football. Coach Frazier, Coach Hen, on
the
the
rest of
way
y'all
to their
staff.
fourth state championship in a row. Coach Frazier's been at Lakeland High School for 3 years, and I've been to the championship 3 years in a row, Coach. I don't know if we really, because it's Lakeland, but Coach, that ain't no easy feat. Win or lose, 3 years in a row, you going back to back, getting there. Now, I mean, they got no people they got to go against, but just getting there, Coach, like that ain't no small feat, man. So,
It only take one time, Coach. Only take one time. You only got to beat them one time.
Yeah, you only got to beat them one time, man. And I like Lakeland team better this year. I don't know, I like them better this year because of what they got at quarterback. I think their defense is a little better than front seven anyway. And the quarterback, he tough. He tough. So I don't know how it's gonna end, but I definitely, obviously we Polk County, so we pulling for him. But shout out to Lakeland and Frazier and the football Dreadnoughts, man, still representing the county. But one thing that has been a surprise to me, I know Ridge and Fort Meade has been a surprise, but Coach, I've been surprised by the number of like unknown players that are becoming known. Like PC Gridiron mentioned this kid in Fort Meade, this 2028 kid, this Xavier Swan kid. And Davenport got this Stephen Achilles kid that's averaging 25, 20 in a game. You got this Dion Drone over at McKeel, 28 kid. You got Sam's, his friend. It's a lot of kids that came up after, especially after this disclaimer, after, the magazine went to print. Let me make sure I say that because people going to be coming for us now. Like, when we sent out to the coaches, we wasn't getting these names of these people. So I don't know if they moved in after the fact or what happened, man. But the talent level in 2027 and 28 was already strong, but they got some more guys. But I've been impressed with some of the individual performances from a scoring perspective early in the season. But to say Ridge was be 8-0 right now, I don't think I would have said that, honestly. Okay. So shout out to Coach Skip. Skip lost a lot.
Actually, I saw them play at the Discovery and Coach Skip is doing a great job maximizing the talent with that particular team.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure we, that's that, and it's early. We haven't made the Christmas break yet, but out the gate, they've been kind of early season surprising, like you said. I mean, the way Christian, you had to wonder about Q, but Christian is fit right in, Coach, and they play that 3-guard lineup with they playing 3 guards, and they essentially got 2 points with Miles and Christian. Because if you look down the stretch, they was kind of going back and forth who was bringing the ball up. So it wasn't just Miles bringing it up all the time. Christian was bringing it up too. They different type of lead guards. Miles is more of a pass first, kind of get everybody situated. Christian kind of more of a scoring threat. But they both was effective. And then, you got Tuck who, a big shot Tuck. And, I mean, I just like I like what Victory has. Thock played really well. Like, Thock is.
Coach, I think he's the key.
Coach, and it just so and now, and that makes sense because MJ, like, he was battling, but I'm like, he missing stuff that he don't normally miss. Like, so if he's sick, then that makes sense. But it's like, he don't normally miss that stuff. Like he was missing a lot of that stuff that he gets. He still was getting it. He still was working. And I know Coach was sending him a little longer than normal. So I was wondering, was he in foul trouble? So that explains if he was sick and he needed a break. That explained why he was kind of over there more than he was. Tell you who also getting better, Coach, for him is the Canadian kid. They got him playing. They got him playing more like on the block a little bit. Yeah. Not on the wing, and I think that's been a good little move for them too. So he getting better too. So
athletic,
yeah,
in a matchup problem.
So. Yeah. I just Yeah, Coach PC Gridiron, they definitely and they went over to Edgewater and turned the people water off over there at Edgewater. So although Edgewater, I still Edgewater coach reminded me of the North Tampa Christian coach. Like you got to the regional finals by running the ball, playing, and then you get in the game against Lakeland and you start trying to beat your quarterback, trying to make him Tom Brady. I don't get how we try to complicate stuff that was working. They was undefeated. You had
Man,
lost the game playing the other way, and you gonna get to this game and go and do something totally different.
look, man, the Ravens did the same thing with Lamar Jackson. Want to make him a pocket passer.
Yeah, I'm the media coach, so I don't. What do I know? I think I know a little bit about football. If I don't won 13 times and they lost doing it one way, if I'm gonna lose that one time doing it the way I won the 13 times. That's
I
just
know
me.
if you're gonna beat one of heaven, you're gonna beat us playing our type of game. You know what I'm saying?
I just coach. I'm like, I think what say the running back had like 1,300 yards on the season, so he your bell cow. He been producing for y'all. Yeah, you at home like, and Lakeland, and just look at the game, coach. Lakeland scored. They had two kickoff returns. First of all, you got the worst special teams in America. Like, if I kick it to you one time and you take it back, you ain't touching the ball no more this season. Not for me.
No.
You kick it to them again, and then they got to pick six. So 3 of the touchdowns wasn't even on the defense.
Nope.
But anyway, so last week recap, man, we had 2 big boy games. We just talked about the Victory Villages game. Coach, what was your take on the Santa Fe Bartow game? That was our other game of the week.
I had picked Bartow to win. But it was a good game. It was a needed game. The county needs those games, Coach. We need the top teams playing against each other. I'm pretty sure it was a great atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Those teams went out to, compete. But Bartow got a young nucleus, Coach, that's stepping up. Was gonna make them real scary later on. Real scary.
A lot of production from a lot of guys. Like, it's not just like one guy. Yeah, Bo Pete, we can put another hat on. We try to be respectful of everybody, man. We give PC Gridiron got the football stuff locked up, so we try to stay in our lane, and Polk County girls got the girls. So, but we gonna show love to folks. We gonna always show love to Polk County, and it's Lakeland, and it's Frazier, and he family, and he and family. So we gonna definitely show love to the guys that we pulling for them on Thursday night, man. I know we can't tell y'all to necessarily pull up to Miami unless if you're gonna pull up. But Thursday night they play for the state championship. They play against St. Thomas, and so of course we need the whole county behind them, man, so they represent us well. I was impressed with how Bartow, because at halftime, at first half, Santa Fe played well. Santa Fe was hitting shots. And Bartow was kind of struggling to stay in front of them to get stops. In the second half, I don't know what McGriff would have said at halftime, and I don't know if it was a situation where he said anything or the pressure just wore him down, because they was picking up, they was pressuring, they turned the tempo up, and it just kind of wore Santa Fe out, because at first Santa Fe was in great shape, and it just kind of Bartow just, like you said, they just keep coming. They keep throwing them bodies at you, and they keep throwing the bodies at you, and I know that was the first game I think that Wallace played, so that had to help, get another body literally, and then he actually got, he's skilled as well, so that didn't hurt. That didn't hurt. So, but yeah, it was. I think Bartow gave up 5 points in the third quarter. That was like the stat of the game. There was like a 19-5 run in the third quarter. So the defense was very impressive in the third, and that was the game. Probably the most entertaining game of the week was down in Fort Meade. Fort Meade and Kathleen went to overtime. I think it was like. And then it was also, that was a entertaining game if you had a chance to watch it, man. It was probably unexpectedly entertaining. Some very high scoring individual performances in that one too. So, overall, and then we had the first annual Carter Cup shootout.
Shout out to Coach E. Shout out for that cause.
Yeah, man, that was nice. Had 5 of the county teams playing that on Saturday. Davenport won the nightcap. They beat Avon Park, and Arbondale beat Tampa Prep. Discovery lost to Daytona Beach Mainland. Jenkins lost to East Ridge, and Lake Region beat Tampa Jefferson. So
yeah, Giddens do a great job at Mainland. He's one of my frat brothers. We talk all the time.
Yeah, I don't know if I surprised that Discovery, considering how they started off. Because Discovery, I could say, has been
they've been a surprise too.
They've been a surprise too. That was their first loss, but considering everything they lost,
and once I got eyes on them, they are pretty good. They are better than what I originally thought that they were gonna be. So shout out to Coach Wheelan's broke. They're doing a great job.
Great job. They got a big one this week. We're gonna talk about here in a minute for this week's games. But overall, it's a good week, man. Good week. So we're gonna release our top team rankings here in a minute. Get Coach a chance, go get him something to drink, because I know he's gonna turn the screen off when we get to that point, man. But from an honor roll perspective, man, just want to give a shout out to some of those top performances from last week, man. There was a lot of them, and so we kind of post them on the page. Then we want to always give them, a little shout out on the show as well. So Makai Berrien from Fort Meade, 30 points against Kathleen, great performance. Jashawn Frederick, who is quietly, I don't know if it's quietly the way he's putting up numbers, quietly inching up the 20-28 class. He had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists in that Fort Meade overtime game. Joey Donahue, coach, we haven't really talked about him. He stayed at Lakeland Christian. His brother went to Victory. He had 35 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals against, I know I'm saying this school name wrong, Tohopekalika, that Indian school, Tohopekaliga. Had 35, 5, and 2 against them. Terrell Berry from Discovery had 24 against Kathleen. Kathleen was in some shootouts this week, man. And but Landon Gall from All Saints had 18 and 5 rebounds against Ridgeview. Xavier Quiles, who is probably somebody name you haven't really heard about, but decent kid, plays with Tenor Rock, had 25 points, 7 rebounds against Mulberry. Dion Drone, one of those new kids from McKeel. McKeel probably across the lane got to have the tallest team in the county. They got 6'9", they got a couple 6'6" kids, a couple 6'4" kids. They got this Drone kid. He's a 20-28 kid. He had a double-double. He had 23 and 10 in the win against Lakeland. They got this kid, Michael Sands, who's a freshman, probably arguably the top freshman, him and the kid from Lakeland. He had 22 points, 5 assists. Jacqueline Crosley from Bartow, they went down to Port Charlotte, coach, and put 90 on Port Charlotte in their gym.
Yeah, but Port Charlotte was still playing football too. It probably wouldn't have made a difference in the win, but I think it would have been closer.
Yeah, 90 points. So Jacqueline had 34 points. He was 9 for 14 from the 3-point line. It's like video game numbers.
Yeah,
4 rebounds, 3 assists. Kid from Lake Wells, Giovanni Almonte, another 20-27 kid that I guess he must have moved in too. Had a double-double, 19 points, 14 rebounds. Jay Lindsay, who's been pretty solid for Arbondale out the block, had 25 points, 8 rebounds against Lake Region. Like I said, Stephen Achilles had 22 points, 14 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 assists against Eustis. And Zach Joseph had 18.6 rebounds against Frostproof. So some big time. We saw Jackson Grimm, Coach Cyber, man. I think All Saints starting out. They were like 3-0-2, 3-4-0. Shout out to All Saints out the block. He came down the lane on Lakeland, man, and it was get out there. Watch out now. Hey, watch out now. Don't get caught slipping. But that was our honor roll, man, for last week, man. Like I said, we posted on the page. Y'all can check it out the blog we posted. But
Yeah. And Coach, shout out to those kids, man. And what we want to see from Polk Hoops is we want to see your name consistently being mentioned in those honor roll. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry to get on my soapbox, and I'm sorry to interrupt Coach Barnes right now, but we get a lot of criticism from a lot of people about who where we get stuff wrong, and we get lists wrong, we get rankings wrong, we get this wrong, which is fine. It's subjective and opinionated at the same time. But it is funny to me that every time we be doing these honor roll, ain't none of these kids being mentioned, but yet we be wrong with our assessment. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sorry, but that y'all need to self reflect on where these particular kids at. And I understand some of it's being biased, and I totally understand that. But I know the first thing I look at, if I can't look at the game, I'm going straight to the stats and see who was the performers in the game. And I know we've gotten criticism about where we put some kids in, but somehow these kids are never in those stats that you post, Coach.
Coach, I mean, and the thing about the great thing about what the thing called NFHS, uh, shout out to NFHS on the background, man. Since they censored my dog, since our partner TNJ got censored, man, I had to, But anyway, TJ always got good with us, so he ain't gonna never get censored at the alumni tournament
No,
and things that Polk
definitely
was
not.
doing. But I've been able to watch, every night pretty much I'm watching somebody. Like I watched the Fort Meade Kathleen game, I watched Jenkins Davenport. I was able to watch Villages. I watched Santa Fe Bar too, because them games all coming on. So I'm seeing these kids, and I'm like, some of these kids I'm seeing, we didn't, like you say, we didn't hear about. And some of the kids that you heard about, you look at and say, okay, let's see what he do. And then he ain't always doing it. So at the end of the day, you said all the time, Coach, at some point you still got to go out there and line it up, right? You still got to go play. And the kids that's playing, like I'm saying, these kids, I'm having to go to these. I'm going to, after I'm watching the game, I'm going to Matt's Props and look at rosters. Like, hold on now, who is this kid? Who is number one? Then I reach out to the coach. But yeah, you're right, Coach. And that it's not a soapbox when it's what it is, right? So anywho, let's go to this week's top 15. We'll do top 20 this week. We'll do top 20. We'll go 20 to 1. I know, Coach. I see you in a minute, Coach. So we started with 20, working our way up to 1. So at number 20 at 1-5 is the Haines City Hornets. At 19 at 2-3, after picking up a win yesterday, is the Lake Region Thunder. At 18, 2-5 after their win last night, is Davenport. Davenport's had a tough kind of start. They lost a couple close games. They end the game. They just kind of down the stretch, kind of going a different way for them. But 18 right now. Then we got 17. We got Jenkins, kind of the same boat. Jenkins kind of had a couple tough ones, couple tough close games that they lost 1-5. And I guess people might have an issue with that. We might have to switch Jenkins to Haines City, because I think Haines City beat Jenkins. So yeah, we're going to have to switch that one for y'all Haines City people come for us. 16, Winter Haven 1-2. Winter Haven didn't play this week, so they kind of just stay with Pat. Lake Wells picked up their first win for the week or the year. They 1-1. They 15. Sebring at 3-2 is at 14. The All Saints that we just talked about, 3-0 right now. They are number 12. 11, 1-1 after the loss of McKill. We got the Lakeland Dreadnoughts, 10 at 4-4. They played a lot of games early. McKill is at 4-4 at 10. Lakeland Christian picked up. It's like on a 3-game winning streak, I think. They are number 9 this week at 4-2. Santa Fe is at 3-3. Santa Fe, got them 3 losses against 3 quality opponents, but they still losses. So they 3-3. At 7 after their win yesterday against Temple Prep is Armidale at 4-2. At number 6 at 4-1 is Frostproof. Frostproof probably going to be considered a surprise as well. At number 5, probably the highest ranking that they've ever had in Polk Hoops history. Shout out to Coach Otis Wilson down there, man. I remember a couple years ago that at the Crying Tower, how they was messing with Coach Wilson. Coach Wilson turned that thing around, man. Fort Meade is at 4-0. Fort Meade got a nice little situation with that Savard, the 28 kid, the Swain kid. And they got Berrien, the 2026 two-sport kid, and then the Russell kid. Now, I think the Russell kid might be leaving to early enroll. I don't know if he signed early or not. So if he leaves, that's going to be a big loss. But I know he's playing right now. Number 4, after their first loss yesterday, is Discovery, 6-1. Number 3, after their first loss, which some people may question because of who they lost to, but they lost to the Villagers, so we dropped Victory 3. At 2, probably, after 80-0 is 80-0. You can say what you want, but 80-0 is 80-0, and that's Ridge. And number 1 this week, we got Bartow. Bartow at number 1 in this week's top 20. So we'll post that tomorrow, but we always want to kind of do it on the show. So, Coach, any thoughts on this week's top 20?
Shout out to those teams. Shout out to those coaches working. We all know strength of schedule is going to play a part. But all of this stuff works itself out. So I'm not upset with where Victory is and who they lost to. I do know that.
Is it too early to do? Is it too early for us to factor in strength of schedule?
I mean, I'm really gonna look at it when the Florida high schools put their first rankings out.
Yeah, it'll start to change.
I think it's fun right now to do it how we're doing it, but we all know, especially with me, strength of schedule holds weight.
Right.
So but let's give kudos. Let's give shout outs to those teams that's gotten out of the starting blocks on a good note. So shout out to Ridge. You know what I'm saying? The challenge is how long you stay up there. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm gonna tell you, Coach, I just been impressed with the number of unknown guys, like you said, to your point, that have not been talked about, that have been impressive out the gate. And that just, to me, that just goes to the level of talent, like we talked about earlier, that we have in the county. We know about a lot of it, but we have a lot of talent in the county that we don't know about. That's I think raising the level. And so it's great to see. So I always want to make sure that, we know the headliners, but it's some good kids that we don't know about. So, part of us is we want to make sure that we spotlight everybody. So if it's a good kid, then we're going to make sure that, folks know about it. So that's been the biggest thing for me, is the biggest, I guess, early in the season, is the number of kids that we have not had. Like, a couple of these kids we talking one in our top 50, because we didn't know nothing about them. But if we go back and redo a top 50 right now, it would be a whole different list. And we might do that. We might do a mid-season top 50, players just posted just for, let me write that down. That might be something that might get, dang, Coach, just talk that out right on the show. Mid-season top 50. We'll do that right for Christmas break. Yeah. Get that going. So got that breaking news, y'all. So this week, Coach, we got a couple games of the week. We don't have as many kind of interesting games that we did last week, but we got another game that's, I think is it Tuesday night, that has become another rivalry, and it's Santa Fe at Victory. Santa Fe and Victory, both teams have become small school state powers.
Yes.
Not just county powers, state powers. Both teams made it to the White House, made it to the championship game in their respective classes, and they both will get to it this week. So What are your thoughts on that rivalry that has turned into a nice little rivalry? Obviously, like you say, both teams they play on Tuesday night at Victory. Last year was at Santa Fe. And I think Santa Fe beat them last year. So, what do you think about the first round, the first time around this year? Santa
So
Fe and
they
Victory.
play twice again.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
know they played twice last year because they split, right?
Yeah, they split.
All right, and I think that's gonna be the key. Um, First of all, shout out to Fitz and Blicker getting this game. Also, happy G Day, Coach Blicker. I know it's your birthday today, so happy birthday to you. Um, I think Victory at this time is a better team. Um, Coach Blicker really he always schedule tough teams early. Um, Bartow also does this where they come out the gate and they may have some losses like early. And I think right now Victory is playing better basketball. So I like Victory in this game early. I think Victory is the better team right now. But I know what you don't want is to be playing Blicker at the end of January when they don't figured everything out.
Shout out to Coach Blicker, man. Coach Blicker just gave an interesting stat. He said neither one of them has won the home game yet. That's crazy. So the road team has won in the rivalry. That's crazy. I think I like that game because it's high energy. It's very well coached. I enjoy seeing both of them with the strategy, trying to
Mhm.
counteract and just the chess match that goes on when they play against each other. I'm very interested to see Tuck and Toby
Yeah.
against each other. They all played together this summer. I know they friends, except for them 32 minutes. So I do think that Victory has more depth than Santa Fe right now, but um, I just as long as you got Toby on your team, you ain't
Not a
too
chance.
far off. You got a shot because he makes so much. He makes so many people better. And I tell your point, I agree with you. I think that not Victor. I think that Santa Fe is going to be a whole lot better in a couple weeks than they are
Mhm.
right now. Not saying they're not good right now, but in a couple weeks they're gonna be a whole lot better. They'll like I say to your point, to the Bartow point, they'll get better as the year goes on because they got a lot of new guys that's kind of figuring stuff out, that's having to be in roles that they haven't been in the past. And that just sometimes that takes time. Sometimes you can get off the bus with it. Sometimes it just takes time to get to that point. So I do think it's going to be very entertaining. Um, I do think it's going to be very, very, very well played on, and I definitely will be tuned in. Thankful for NFHS. Coach. I'm watching people I ain't never even seen before. Like I'm going down the list and I'm put their name in the thing and it pop up. Okay, like yesterday I put in Discovery in Mainland and it said it was playing. Okay, so I click on it and it got a picture of Discovery Gym, just the gym. So it got the game, but it ain't. I needed to be over in Armandale, so it had
Yeah.
it on NFHS work, but it wasn't. It didn't show the game,
Yeah.
so I missed that one. But so that's our game of the week, Santa Fe at Victor. We got a couple more games of interest. The home and home that's become Miami Norland at Bartow takes place this week, and they're at Bartow this year. So that game is on Friday. That's on Friday. So I don't know what Norland has at all. I do know that out the gate that the 2028 duo of James Rattery and Daryl Lee has been as advertised, and then you got a couple other guys that you didn't really know about that have been stepping up for Bartow. They got Wallace back. So what's your take on that one, Miami Norland at Bartow?
All right. So going to look at Norland, they 5-1 right now. They'll always be well coached. You talking about a legend. Definitely be a Hall of Fame coach for sure. They're beating Vieira, Jones. They beat Eustis. They beat Miami High. They beat Carroll City. I think this is going to be a close game, Coach. Um, Judging by from what I see. But I still like Bartow at home. But I love this. I love this game. I love the relationship that McGriff has with um the coach from New Orleans, and they always play this game. They usually come up for the mosaic too. You need these type of games because you gotta be battle tested. You gotta see where you at and what the other teams like this exploit, so therefore you can get better. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So shout out to them playing this game. Well, I like Bartow at home.
Miss Shaw, good evening, man. Thank you for always tapping in and supporting and hanging out with us. And Mr. Bell, thank you as well, sir, for always tapping in, tagging us on stuff, and making sure we kind of in and on things. I had no idea that there was a YouTube channel for that stuff on Saturday. I just go to NFHS work. So if I would have known it, I definitely would have been. Because I was trying to get there. I didn't have no. It didn't show. So uh, I guess that's on me. I didn't do enough research, and I didn't reach out enough. But um, and Coach Blecker, to your point, um,
Blicker is funny.
well, I may go back and look at it. If it's on YouTube, that means it's saved. So I may go back and check those out. So because I just try to, my thing is, especially with the rankings, we always pride ourselves on not, of seeing the kids. Between the three of us, one of us are gonna put our eyes on them, so that it's a legit it's a legitimate assessment. So we're gonna watch the games. Nobody watches more games than we do. I know. And I think that's why, whether you like it or not, you can't really dispute it, because we're not just making up stuff. We're actually watching these kids play. We're actually watching them, when they go to camps, and when they go to these live periods, we're actually in the gym watching them. So it's nothing like seeing it. So I watch a ton of games during the week. I watch 5, 6, 7 games a week. So when I get on here, I'm not just running my mouth. So if that's on YouTube, I definitely will go back and check them out.
Yeah, I
I
definitely
no
want to see
problem
the
at all.
mainland Discovery
Um,
game for sure.
Mainly discuss. Yeah, I'll go back and check out those three. I'll look at Davenport, Arbordale, and Discovery. To Coach Blicker's point, um,
Man,
you know,
I love
uh,
Coach Mike, man.
yeah, I mean, yeah, and that, it is your. We talk about with scheduling. We know one thing that Coach Blicker gonna do. He's always done it. He's gonna schedule tough. He's not going to patty cake his schedule. So if that means one year he only lost 5 games, another year he lost 8, 10 games, that ain't gonna change how he do it. And that's why his teams are like they are. That's no knock on other people. That's
Mm.
just what he does. It's about 5 or 6 teams in the county that schedule that way every year. So early on, our schedule, we don't necessarily look at strength of schedule early on. We kind of look at it around the time that the state start doing it. So we kind of factor it into our rankings. That's when people start to have a problem with how you got a team that lost 4 games ahead of a team that lost 1 game. Well, we look at strength of schedule, who they played. But early on, we just, it's just we kind of wins and losses to kind of get going. So the rankings will change a whole lot,
Yeah, definitely.
starting in January, once the state and Max Prep start doing their thing. So we look at all that stuff. Just, for a disclaimer for you all that's probably wondering that. But yeah, Miss Shaw, like I said, I didn't even know. I didn't know that they was showing it on YouTube, but because I would have shared it on the page so other people could see the game. Because once again, we want as much exposure on the kids as possible. So if it was on YouTube, I wouldn't have had no problem putting the link on the page. I didn't know about it, but I'm definitely gonna go back. So thank you and Mr. Bell for making us aware of that. So another game of interest this week, Coach. Uh, Armendale at Discovery on Thursday. This has turned
Interesting.
into a little, yeah. This has turned into a little bit of a rivalry game too,
Interesting.
and then this got an added element because you got a personnel type of issue. You got
When this
uh,
game again?
Thursday,
We got a game.
same night. Unfortunately, the way stuff go. That's the same night as Lakeland State Championship football. But on the basketball side, that's going to be an interesting game. So I just hope that I go and look at once I see the schedules for the week. Well, because I write all that stuff out before the year start. And let me say this also, because every morning I post the schedule for the day. Now I go through and I look at everybody's schedule on Match Preps and what they sent to put in the magazine. Now, some teams go back and they don't put all their whole schedules on there. They don't put all the schedule on there. So when we post the schedule, I post it off based off when I went and looked at the stuff. So you'll get people like this team, you add this game, you add this game. There's nothing I can do about the game if it happens after we've printed or we went and looked at the stuff. So you got to help us to help you at some point. And Miss Shaw, I thought it said Thursday, but I'm going to check. No, the 9th, whatever. When's the 9th? The 9th is Tuesday. So it's Tuesday. Mm-hmm. It's Tuesday. It's the 9th. Yeah. I got Thursday, but I got December 9th. So it's Tuesday night, Coach. Yeah, Tuesday, December. And I got it on this thing. I don't know why I said Thursday. Yeah, it's Tuesday night. You got Jordan Gunner, who is back at Armandale. Mm-hmm. He's played his freshman year at Armandale, went to Discovery, 10th and 11th grade, and now he's back at Armandale for a senior year. To go with, Jay Lindsay and Cam Steele, those guys in Discovery, got Terrell Berry, they got Vegas, some other guys. So the game is at Discovery. So what's your take on the Armandale at Discovery, which could be a sneaky good game? So yes, I got Tuesday, December 9th on the blog that I posted. So I'm looking at it. So I don't know why I said Thursday, but it is Tuesday, December 9th. So thank you, Miss Shaw and Coach Jameson. Shout out to Coach Jameson, man, run the best 35 and over league in the county, probably in the state, man. They be playing, they hooping. They was playing tonight, man. I heard the Magic. Shout out to my boy Mike Sears, 20-point win with the Magic. They knocked somebody off, man. They do a good job with that. So basketball never is, man. So if you 35 and up, 30 and up, you still got hope, man. Just see Coach Jameson. He can get you, shameless plug, Coach Jameson. But so what you think about that one on Tuesday night, Coach?
That's gonna be a lot of emotion in that gym. I expect for that to be a classic. It might be up for game of the year because of all that it entails. I do like Armandale though to come out with the win.
You like Armandale to go up into Discovery and come out with a W.
But I think it's gonna be a classic, Coach. It's gonna be a heavyweight fight. It's gonna go back and forth. But I think Armandale overall right now and the way they playing, I like Armandale.
I still think that Armandale, we still like Armandale coming out of that region. And so hey man, Coach, we tried to basketball is forever, man. Some people in their mind, Coach Blicker, it's forever. It never leaves. So we just trying to, for those people that have that dream, they got one more game and they got one more shot, they got one more pick and roll. It's hope for you. They got what they say, they got a 37 over football league that done went viral. We got a 35 over league in Polk County, man, that if we do it right, it could go viral also, man. I mean, maybe for testing your Achilles or, man, look, they got uniforms and everything. You go up in there, man, they got like uniforms. The Magic got on Magic uniforms. The Heat got on Heat uniforms, man. They're serious. They ain't playing no game. They ain't no shirts and skins. It's jerseys. It's referees, Anyway, we just want to make sure that we give a shout out, man, for y'all that's on that edge. So Coach Cyber say Coach Jameson. They say you get Coach Jameson in that league, man, he turned to a different person. You see him on the street, he just a quiet guy, he's an educator, he real, distinguished, but boy, he get it down in that men's league and he turned to a different person. I've heard that from a couple people. So, you like Arvindale to go in there, coach? I think I'm interested to see how, because they both play at a high level. But one thing that Arvindale is doing a better job of, in my opinion, than they've done in years past, coach, they're playing better defense. They are a
They're
better.
getting out.
This might be one of their better defensive teams that they've had in a long time, and that's why I really like them to come out the region because of how they guard people.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Coach Jameson, man, I'm just why not? Y'all gonna be the standard, coach. We trying to get y'all to go viral, man. You know, everybody trying to go viral nowadays, so. Y'all do a great job, man. I'm just all just aside. You do a great job with that, man. So shout out to you, man, for doing that and doing it consistently for so long, at a high level. And it's competitive, man. I be seeing some of the names of guys that's playing in that, and it ain't just ain't no chopped liver. Them guys, it's some high level guys that still hoop,
Guys,
that's
that's
still playing, man. So it's a good thing, man. It's a real good thing. But yeah, the way Arvindale guards people and trying to play defense, I think I haven't seen that out of them in other years. And that's why I like them to come out of that region because of how they guard people. Now that losing who yeah, losing Aiden, that hurts. Losing Curry hurts, but I think that they still got enough to make it. And I guess the thing is you hate to lose a player, any player, but a player that level. But if it has to happen, and you hope it don't, it happened early enough that they can, adjust. It'd be different if it happened like right for districts or, what I'm saying, like mid-season, then that'd be hard to kind of to adjust. But the fact that it happened, in the summer, which, we hated for him, Mr. Curry, to lose his senior year like that. But they've had a chance. The other guys get, the whole next man up. They got a whole season for the next man to get used to being up. Yeah. And then the last one we got on there, man, just some interest is the McKeel and Kathleen, just because how exciting their games have been against other people. Now they're going to play each other. So we're just expecting that to be a high-scoring, exciting game just because of how exciting their games have been against other people. And you got, like I say, McKeel might be the I don't know, the most underrated team.
They may be, but they're still in that Dove district.
But they still. That's why. They still end up with them people, right? So
yeah, because they end up with them people.
How do you coach that? How do you coach being in a district or a region with them people?
Not worried about them. Just focus on your kids and getting better. That's the best thing you can do. To focus on yours.
I ain't laughing at you. I'm laughing at Coach Blicker, man. Coach Blicker needs his own reality show. Oh man. Because you focus on getting better, coach. But if you're doing it the right way, like you're looking, like you just said, y'all not playing for district, region, y'all playing for return for state. Most people are coaching for the playoffs. You're coaching to do something. So at some point, you got to look at who the potential opponent is going to be.
Coach.
So knowing that, how do you still coach? Knowing that at some point, that's going to be my reality.
So our situation is different. If I'm them, I'm like them horse races. I put them blinders on, coach, get out them blocks, not worry about them people. Focus on getting better.
You worry about it when it's in front of you, not right now.
In front of you, yeah. That's what I would do. You start focusing on all that other things, and those kids don't continue to improve, then you end up getting embarrassed. What you want to do?
If you had a team like that, that's what you would do. At the level of your team, that's what you would do. Okay. That's fair. Okay. So obviously, y'all, they're more than just those games. That's just our kind of the spotlight games we got for the week.
I do know the Tuesday game, Davenport and Lake Region, has been changed to Wednesday. They've been having trouble with
That was
referee availability. They asked us to change it. I was in my admin chat group today, so I know they changed Lake Region Davenport from Tuesday to Wednesday.
so Lay Region at Davenport Tuesday to Wednesday. So I'll update that so I don't post the wrong thing. All right, I got it. So, all right, man. Well, Coach, anything on your side you need to talk about for
Oh
y'all?
man, shout out to KFO, Kevin Foster, Polk County. Was able to come and visit us and watch my team play this weekend, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I was so happy to see that kid because I seen him, as a middle schooler and grow up into the young man that he has been. And he had his kids with him. His little girl was there to watch us play. Um, Alex was Blair. He didn't come to the game, but shout out to him too because he lives out there too.
That was
As
great
far
because
as
I
yeah,
saw him posted. I saw him posted. He was gonna come check y'all out. So I'm glad he
yeah,
actually made it out to check y'all out.
he,
That was
he
great.
actually made it out, man. It was good to see him. As far as us, we got a game. We got two home games Thursday and Friday against Sumner and St. Pete High, and then we go to Leesburg Saturday at 4:30. We play Windermere Prep, which is a really good team. So we just gonna keep chopping this wood, Coach. You know what I'm saying? Just continue to improve and get better. We had one get hurt over the weekend, so prayers for Aubrey Hall, Gavin Hall's twin sister.
Oh
Um,
man.
and we just gonna keep chopping this wood.
What's one piece of advice you got for the people, the coaches this week, girls or boys? What's one piece of advice you giving them for this week as we get off?
One piece of advice is give. I will have individual meetings with your players if you haven't already, and you have been able to assess them over the last couple weeks, and have a one on one with them. If they need encouragement, give them encouragement. If they need for a fire to be lit up on them, then do that. Um, use film, use stats in order to present in front of them as a reality in analytics. Because some people is living in virtual reality. They're living in AI coaching, and we're not there.
We're not there
Um,
yet. Okay.
no, we just not there. Just truly, give a true assessment. Encourage your kids, especially if they're struggling. We have a few that's not playing as well as they had hoped. And we gotta uplift these kids. Remember, they're still kids. They're still teenagers. They're gonna have up and down moments, and it's our job to get them over the hump.
Okay. To that point, coach, before we get off, and this is a football topic, but it can spill over to basketball. Is Notre Dame setting a bad precedent? If y'all, this is a football question, but it could carry over. They announced the playoffs today,
Hmm.
and Notre Dame didn't get in, so they announced that they're not going to participate in the bowl game because so they essentially packing it up. They didn't get in. They didn't like it. So is that setting a bad precedent?
Coach, that's disappointing. Really, that's like we down here at the park playing. You take your ball home and and cry. You know what I'm saying? Just because they're not passing you the ball or whatever. That's line it up. You still can play in a high level bowl game even though you didn't make you know the the playoffs. But that's on you. You were in charge of your destiny. You know what I'm saying? Your resume wasn't as good as the people that was in there. That's like Alabama last year. They was crying about they didn't make it. Alabama didn't get in last year. So what we talking about? You're not gonna always make it. So don't just take your ball home and pack up and cry about it.
Quit. You can't quit. Like you just said, you coaching the kids up. Realize they kids. Realize because what I saying to the kids, like you said, y'all got some girls not playing well. I'm sure coaches in the county got kids that's not playing as well. Are we gonna help the kids? Are we in the kid business? Are we trying to help them to be the best that they possibly could be? Or are we teaching them a lesson that when you don't get your way, you just quit? Not just I like I said, that's bigger than football to me. And
Mm-hmm.
so I want to tie those two in and the advice you give it to, that scenario, which, like you said, is very
But
disappointing. But
even if I don't play those kids that are going to the NFL or maybe in the portal, let me get film on these backups that I have and see how they perform. Do I actually want to keep this kid, or I'm gonna encourage him to get in the portal? I think it's an opportunity for those kids. Maybe didn't get as much time as the starters or whatever, for them to show their worth.
Coach Blicker, that's a very courageous question that a lot of coaches probably wouldn't ask. Like you see what he said, he asked his kid, how can he be a better coach for him? Because some coaches may not want to hear that because they, in their mind, like you say, coach, the blinders, I'm already doing everything for you. So for you to be that open and vulnerable, and I don't know if vulnerable is the right word, to ask your kid that, and I, like you said, I love the response, but how many coaches are going to ask the kid, how can I be better for you, as
Yeah.
opposed to you telling them this what I need you to do, as opposed to what can I do? That perspective alone would, if we had more coaches, and I'm not saying we're not pointing, but if we had more coaches that would be that open with themselves, because if you ask that question, you got to be open for what the answer could probably be. You may not like what the kid got to say, but if you're trying to really help that kid, you got to be willing to accept that. If that's, like I said, a lot of coaches wouldn't ask that, and a lot of people wouldn't ask that question. So that's a big time
Yeah, fact.
question. That's a big time.
And I do it all the time because a lot of times I'm coaching the kids. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm just not getting the results that I need or that I'm looking for. So therefore, I go to them like, what can I do to help you guys be better and improve? And then
That's
they'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be vulnerable. You gotta put your pride to the side. Shout out to Rank. You gotta put your pride to the side. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Sometimes the information that you get from those kids is what you need in order to help them be better.
It's what you need. It's what you need. And as a coach, you have to be okay with wherever you get what you need. And sometimes, like you say, it's from the ones that you trying to help. You're trying to help. You may be coaching this kid this way, and it's just not resonating with this kid. But if you don't ask the kid the question, how do you know? Like, it just may not be working. Coach, that just don't work for me. Coach, that,
Mhm.
how you want me to do this just don't work. This is and but it's amazing that more coaches won't ask those type of questions to their kids, and
And,
I guarantee you, it's less that'll do it than more that'll do it. So,
and don't
uh,
be afraid to ask those questions with your assistant coaches. You know what I'm saying? They need to have an outlet or a voice too. Some of y'all don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever, but don't like I said, don't let your pride
don't let you
sink the ship because you don't want to listen to somebody.
don't
Man,
lose
yeah,
sight
some of
of
y'all have great assistants and they don't even it can be in private. You gotta give them a voice. Maybe it give you an idea. It may not be exactly what they said, but maybe it give you an idea to help that team be better. You know what I'm saying? So
because you got them there for a reason. Like, why do you have them there? Otherwise, you might as well just do it by yourself. Just do it by yourself.
yeah, because we had a
Anyway,
great conversation over the on our Fresno trip. You know what I'm saying? We took two losses. We ain't no excuses. We sit up there and we was able to speak our mind on how we gonna make these kids better. So
why do I got you on the bit? And I know what I used to be like. I don't want nobody telling me everything that I'm saying won't work.
mm,
That's the first thing Coach Collins like, man, we do this together. I I don't need nobody. Everything I say might sound good to me, but it's me. All this ish ain't gonna work. Like, I need you to say, hey, coach, man, coach, they gashing us. Coach, what we gonna do? Like, you got so much pride. We just gonna we gonna sit in this defense and we got this kid on this kid and he just coach. Coach, come on, what we
Because
doing,
we
coach?
played zombie yesterday.
Yeah, coach, come on, this
And
ain't
it
working,
came
coach.
from the kids, coach. They didn't come from us.
Yeah,
The
you
kids
gotta be
was
able
like,
to
hey, coach, man, let's go to the 2-3.
coach, we gotta
All right,
do
let's try it.
we gotta do something, man. Like this ain't it, coach. This ain't I ain't saying we can't go back to it, but coach, right now we need something different. This ain't these people killing us, man. Like but you got so much pride, like, no, this gonna work. This is what we gonna do with coach. This is what we do, but right now it ain't working. This might be what we do, but this ain't working. And what are we going to do to change the trajectory of what's going on right now? And if we can do more of that, but like you say, that takes a lot of vulnerability that a lot of us we struggle with because we're so confident and we're so used to things happening a certain way that when it doesn't, we don't know how to adjust. But the ones that know how to adjust, that's where the separation comes from. Those that are willing to listen, that's where the separation comes from. Those that are playing a whole lot longer than the other ones, that's where the separation. That's the cheat code. At the end of the day, coach, that's the cheat code.
It is.
It ain't X and O's. It's the relationship and the respect and the ability to listen and to absorb and to self-reflect. And that's not easy for a lot of people to do. So, coaches, if y'all ain't getting nothing, that was a couple gems from the All-State coach he just gave you. I just lob him over the plate and let him hit the singles and the doubles and the home runs. But yeah, man, all we trying to do here, man. All we're trying to do is help everybody to be great, man. Everybody to be great. We want everybody to win. That's why we do this whole thing, man. We wish everybody could obviously some people in the same district, so everybody can't go, but here we're gonna always be objective. We never gonna have a favorite. We want everybody. We all Polk County, all everybody. So if we can give y'all something to help, that's what we're gonna do, man. That's why the whole reason why we even started this in the first place. So all right, man. So that's what we got for tonight, man. Congrats to y'all Hurricanes that got in. Man, good luck to the Dreadnoughts, Coach Frazier, Coach Taylor, as they go and try to win a state championship in football this week, man. Y'all cheer for the Knots, man. However you might feel about them, they represent Polk County, man, and we want them to go and do well. Take that stranglehold that South Florida got off of football and basketball. I looked at a graphic, man. They got 16, 1A through 6A. Each one of them got a team from down south playing for the championship. Each one. Armwood let the people off the hook over there the other night, man. Missed the field goal. They lost 14-13. They should have beat them people. But let's go, Lakeland, man. Let's go Dreadnoughts in football. And everybody this week, man, is playing ball. Y'all keep working, man. And also, man, next Friday, end of the semester, Let's not slip up and miss that, right? Isn't that Friday in the semester?
Yes, sir. Next Friday.
Yeah, let's not trip in the classroom, y'all. And because if you become ineligible, you done. So, Coach, what it is before we leave out? What's the quote?
Best ability is availability, coach.
Come on, man. Don't let your people down, man. Handle your business in the classroom, man. Don't be no knucklehead. Do them people work, man. Do what you got to do to finish strong in the classroom, so you can be a part of what y'all got going the second half of the season. Basketball always the toughest sport, man, because you got to be eligible both semesters. They're the only sport that you got to be eligible both sports. And so do what you got to do to finish strong, man. Do what you got to do to finish strong. All right. Appreciate that, Newt, man. Appreciate all you. Appreciate it. Appreciate you, Coach Simon, man. Everybody, Sable, Coach Outbo, Coach Blicker, all y'all support, man, in the chat, man. We appreciate y'all. We appreciate y'all, man. And we couldn't do it without y'all, man. We don't take it for granted. So we'll post the top 20 tomorrow morning. We'll post a game each week, man. We'll just keep on doing what we do, spotlighting everything great with Polk County basketball. That's why we the best in the county and we the best in the state, man. We appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good week, man. Till next time, Polk Hoops, we out. Y'all be safe.